What's going on, people? Today we kind of got a new thing going on. Instead of actually an episode of the ZaKa podcast, the ZaKa podcast is presenting you guys with a mini cast. We're going to start doing little mini episode where we actually just take recent trends in the gaming news and stuff like that and just quickly discuss about them. And today we're joined by our guest, Lee, or Tyrannotron, again, for this console discussion. What's up, Lee?
What's up, dude?
And along with me is the host of the ZaKa podcast, Tokyo Bassist.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah, so today, for the first mini-cast, we're actually going to discuss Microsoft's recent changes for the DRM issue that's been going on that gamers have been complaining about. So let's just talk about what's been going on today.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like, what do you think? Is this a good thing? Do you think it's, I don't know, do you think it's something that they've been planning this entire time? I don't know, I still kind of have this, really sour taste in my mouth where I feel like they've just been throwing me around as, like, a consumer, but at the same time, I'm just like, at least it's not this, apocalypse scenario for the gaming industry anyways, you know what I mean? They're not going to collapse and all these games are going to lose support or anything.
I mean, like, my thing is, like, I'm reading all this and, like, okay, awesome, they got rid of that whole DRM thing, the whole having to connect to the internet always and at least connect once a day to run the whole internet connection test in order to play your system, and you're able to play offline now. That's cool and all, but the fact they got rid of cool features on the Xbox One, like being able to share your games with 10 family relatives or just a person on your friends list that's been on your list for more than 30 days. They got rid of that, and they got rid of being able to play the game without the disc being in the system as well, that little cloud feature that they had. So
the 30-day thing is a bad thing, but
I know what you said, yeah, but I'm just saying the game sharing in general, like that whole idea is gone out the window. And, and they replaced it with the whole no DRM, playing offline, and region free. So I guess it's kind of a trade-off. But I like you said, I have like a bad taste in my mouth, and I still taste shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, especially after you take all these advantages that were hardly even advantages after considering the DRM.
Yeah.
Now it just really feels like, for what reason am I going to buy this console, especially considering the Xbox's reputation this past gen, especially considering the additional $100 price point in comparison to PS4.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, especially considering that, the PS4 does have cloud gaming. You're going to be able to stream games, you're going to have a bunch of different games accessible via the PSN. It's just like, not really looking good still for the Xbox One. Definitely a lot better than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
It was a lot better. But, like, I mean, also having to have the Kinect always connected is kind of, it still worries me, the whole recording while the system's off.
It's just listening to you, quote unquote, like while it's off. But I don't know, man. Like, when it comes down to it, like, ultimately it will come down to the games. But like, Lee was saying earlier, it's like 100-point price difference still. It's still got to focus on TV more so than games. From people need to still remember, still like this all-in-one entertainment box. Just because fucking E3 finally rolled around and showed awesome games, well, mainly trailers and shit. But that's not the end of it, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, like, you still have to be connected to the internet at least one fucking time with that system because, like, it's a patch. It's a day one patch. I don't know.
It just doesn't make sense to me because, like, they're saying they want to fix the problems with people not being able to play online by making it offline, but instead of delaying your system a little bit, in order to actually have it integrated in the system, you're going to release it at the same date and just release a patch so that you still have to connect online regardless, like you just stated before.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will agree, I will say that it's not as damning as having the 24-hour mandatory update, just because, I mean, you will be able to carry it around and take it to other people's houses. That's cool, especially since I'm not going to buy it myself. I mean, I'm just going to say that straight up now. So, I mean, it would be nice if somebody could carry it around. Yeah. Just because, like, I mean, when I had a 360, or, I mean, I still have a 360, I just don't play it much anymore. But, I mean, I would take it all over the place all the time to play the games that I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's nice that can still keep happening. And I mean, it's still going to limit the accessibility. They haven't really talked about, who else is going to have access to Xbox Live either, if that's going to change or anything. But I mean, there's still a lot of people that aren't going to be able to play the games.
And like on top of that, like the whole freaking like going back to what I said before about not you have to being able to connect to the internet, you still, I mean, for a day one patch, that seems massive, and you're going to still need a good enough internet connection to download said patch. So for anyone that doesn't have internet, like the armed services, the Marines, the Army, Navy SEALs, whatever, who actually was a big influence on this change because a lot of them were complaining about, hey, Microsoft, how can you like do this to us or whatever? You guys are just awful and stuff like that. That and plus all the internet memes around E3 that actually forced Microsoft to make this change. They still need internet to required to download this patch, and they do not have it. So how they're gonna play offline is just doesn't make sense to me. What Microsoft should do, the smart move, they should delay the system and have it integrated in the system so there's no patch. I mean, like, it's not going to be that much delay, can it? I mean, like, a month delay or a month and a half. I mean, it's still going to come up by holiday, you know what I'm saying? Even the numbers might not be as big. Sure, they want to compete with Sony, all right. But if you're a confident company, then you should be confident enough that if you delay it for a month just to fix this problem or 2 months, your system's still going to sell well in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's just very inconvenient. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it seems lazy.
It's very lazy.
It's cheap, and I can see why they did it. You know.
And another thing I want to mention, like, just feel free to butt in anytime, you two. Like, how come Microsoft can't get their story straight on like the first go?
I know. I mean, like, that's something that I've had. That's my biggest problem, in all honesty, is that there hasn't been really any legitimate source on information about this DRM up until this point, anyways, when they just said that they're not going to have it anymore. You know what I mean? But there's just been so much conflicting information flying around.
I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. But I'll say this: they took too long to announce the system. But at the same time, maybe they should have waited if they were planning on doing all this shit. Like, I don't know, man. Like, at this point, they cause me so much fucking stress that I just don't even want to fuck with that system, dude. Like,
I know.
I really don't. Like, it's just to the point where I'm just like, okay, the last thing I'm even thinking about is fucking video games when I mention Xbox One. So, like, I should just fucking move on to the Wii U or, like, the PS4 where I'm actually thinking and talking about the games. I don't know, like...
Yeah, it's so true. It's just, like, we haven't really talked about the video games, I mean... in our personal conversations or otherwise that have come out for the Xbox One or have been shown, and we've already said that they look more interesting than a lot of the games that are coming out on the PS4. It's just that, there's been so much extra bullshit going on.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just really just, I'm just fuck all, okay? I just don't care anymore. Like, they lost me at the whole thing. Like, the moment it got announced, it was just like, the gaming community went up in an uproar because, we're hearing about all kinds of things that was basically anti-consumer. And it's like, yeah, that's nice that they took back their statements and, like, actually are changing the TOU. But, I don't know, like, it's just to a point where I'm not even talking about games at this point. Like, we're talking about fucking the politics and, like, consumerist, like,
practices, and
consumer practices.
You'd feel like with such a well-known and just wow, I was going to say the word trusted with Microsoft in the same sentence, but such a well-known company as Microsoft, like, you'd think they would have better practices and just a better preparation for a release of a new system rather than just it's a TV about the games, there's Call of Duty on it. Yeah, you need to be online. Like, I mean, are you seriously, guys? Like, and then like 2 months down the road, oh, here's the story. You guys didn't give us a chance to say it. No, you're just really bad at life. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, like, their PR is just terrible.
Yeah,
I don't really understand why they haven't. They should have people like us first in mind when these things happen. You know what I mean? Because we're the ones that are listening in on what they're saying, and we're the ones that actually want to know what we're going to be getting when we buy this console. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously we're the ones that care.
It's baffling because, I mean, honestly, like, at the price points that, like, in all honesty, that, PS4 and Xbox One's launching at, the people you need to fucking get in there to buy that system day one is the gamers. And if you're not even catering towards them, because come on, let's be honest, nobody's gonna fucking, like, that doesn't even game, go to a GameStop or Best Buy or whatever and then buy this thing, you know what I'm saying, day one at $500 or $400.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta count on the gamers for the early adoption rates, dude. You know, before, like, the system drops in price, like the PS3, and people actually consider buying one.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, you know, those massive day one sales.
And that's not possible at $500 still. I mean,
they're talking about changing the price, though, to $399 to match the PS4, but still, the PS4 is going to have better, like, specs, like system hardware.
Well, no, it's not dropping to $399 at all.
Look at the article right here, the one that you linked to me before. It says that they're talking about changing it from $499 to $399. They're talking about dropping it.
No, the article that he's referring to, folks, is like the one from Polygon where it was actually mentioned, like all the policies and stuff like that, and actually the clarification on a few issues. And basically it says in quote, well, now that the Xbox One's, or not in quote, but with the article, now that the Xbox One's policies more closely match those of the PS4, is it possible that the price will also see a match dropping?
Oh, I thought it said it is possible to see it drop. Never mind, I didn't see the question mark or the. Wow, I'm retarded.
And the way that, and then it says right under he quotes, and when I say he quotes, we're talking about the vice president of Xbox Live, Mark Whitten, but he says on the price, we feel strongly that we are delivering an immense value in gaming and entertainment. So that statement kind of speaks to me as they're not budging on the price.
All right, see, like, I didn't finish reading the article, so that's technically my fault. But, like, with that being read now, like, you're saying that it's delivering immense value in gaming and entertainment, yet the PS4 is $100 cheaper, has better specs, and their exclusives are actually exclusives, not things you call exclusives, but are actually available on PC.
Yeah, I mean, we've yet to see, like, how far the Xbox and PC, like, kind of cross, release thing goes. I don't know, like, that's really shoddy right now, because I mean, I can't see, like, certain games being on there just because the control schemes and stuff, but, like, all that's kind of moot at this point, because there is Xbox 360 controller support now on a lot of PC games anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's to say, like, Titanfall is already a fucking PC game as well, so, I mean... Yeah,
and Witcher 3, obviously, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, you already got a nice handful of games that are considered, like, somewhat pseudo-exclusives, I guess you could call them, but... I don't know, like... neither of the systems... I mean, if you're going to be selling a system based on multi-plats, why the fuck wouldn't you just go ahead and get, like, the cheaper system, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just Oh, go ahead.
And you're going to see more of those, honestly. You're going to see a lot more multi-platform games, and it's like, I mean, Final Fantasy 15, I'll straight up tell you now, people in Japan or in Asia regions and stuff like that, they're going to fucking buy it on PS4. Like, that's already a given. Metal Gear Solid has a more established fan base on fucking the PlayStation brand, so I feel like there's going to be a better chance of MGS5 selling more on that system.
Yeah.
Destiny, that can go both ways, because I feel like a lot of PS3 or Sony fans are like, kind of like, they've been wanting to see Bungie kind of make something on this system.
At the same time, I feel like a lot of people are anti-Bungie, though.
What's that?
Isn't there a lot of people that are like kind of anti-Bungie, though, that are Sony supporters? Same time, like anti-Halo?
I don't know. I'm sure there are some, just like anybody, but,
Yeah, it's probably not significant enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what we call fucking fanboys, but I mean, we know for a fact, like, Final Fantasy 13 ain't sell shit. None of the Final Fantasy games really sold that well on the 360 compared to the PS3 version, so,
yeah.
I mean, that's a sign, just looking at, like, what happened with other games that's done the same thing, I just don't see it happening. Kingdom Hearts, I mean, seriously, you're gonna have Xbox One fans jumping in on the third fucking game in a fucking, like, 8-game series.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why they made that one multi-plat.
Yeah, I was very surprised about that.
That's so pointless.
Yeah, it's just like, what? So, I don't know. That's just silly. They really want games on every single system ever.
Well,
You
with
know.
like the system specs being very similar within each other, minus GDDR3 on the Xbox One versus GDDR5 on the PS4 and slight other differences or whatever. In the long run, like since they're both Blu-ray laser players, blah blah blah, they're gonna be both developed right. It's not gonna be like last gen where they're like, oh, it's so much easier to develop for the Xbox, and now let's just be lazy and port it over than rather than develop for the PS3 version. They're gonna be exactly the same, hopefully, and they're gonna run pretty much the same. It's just, would you rather be a fanboy and pay $100 more for the Xbox One, or would you rather save $100 and buy a better system in the long run and buy the PS4?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna get into more like actual like real talk with the system, one thing that actually has like kind of crossed my mind lately is I feel like one of the biggest differences between the two systems are probably gonna be that the Xbox One's gonna be more of a Western centric system, like not just from like the standpoint that with the whole more digital oriented stuff, but from its games. I feel like you're going to see a lot more Western developed games on the Xbox One and more Japanese centric games on the PlayStation,
like it's always been.
Yeah, so it's kind of going to go back to like I feel like this is kind of going to be a weird thing, kind of like with the PS2 Xbox GameCube era.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of what's going to play out this time, and I guess take your pick on what you're looking for, because I mean, personally, I don't give a fuck about Killer Instinct, but there's a lot of Western gamers that like Killer Instinct over like Street Fighter and shit like that.
Yeah.
Whereas on PlayStation 4, when they had their original developer thing, I remember the announcement thing. I remember seeing like a big old slideshow thing where it just showed a bunch of developers on there, and they had a lot of Japanese companies on there, like very Japanese centric companies, and you saw some Western devs on there, but just not as many. So I feel like that's where it's going to be different in terms of content. Ultimately, you're going to see a lot more Japanese type games on PS4, and
I mean, it would just seem really foolish for me or for Sony to not really try to go for those Western devs, though. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't think they're going to drop them, though. I'm just saying
they don't really drop.
A lot more, you're just going to see a lot more support as far as from Japanese devs on the PS4. I feel like.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
like
I mean,
more like
that one's
JRPGs
given,
and
but,
stuff.
Yeah, but I just feel like where it really is going to come down to the wire, because it's obvious that Microsoft's not supporting the East at all. You know, what I mean, they don't care. But I think it would be wise, anyways, for Sony to really go and try to push their console in the West also.
I mean, they always do, though. The only thing is, like, compared to last gen, like, Xbox had two Western games over the PS3, my apologies, and that was Halo and Gears, and that's it. But those were really popular, and that's what sold the Xbox to a lot of people. And on top of that, the analog stick placement and the way the analog sticks felt, like the controller just felt in your hand, it made it apparently better for shooters. It was more comfortable. So, like, I guess you could say targets more of a Western audience because they have this whole mindset where shooters, they have to be triggers as buttons rather than just buttons or whatever, and the placement has to be like this, and the fingers have to go there, and it has Gears and Halo. So I guess that's what he means by like Western centric focus. But I wouldn't say like Sony wouldn't focus on the Western audience as well. They're more of like a melting pot, like a diverse gaming company where they'd be like, oh, you guys like niche games? Here you go. Here's a physical release of that game. And Xbox would be like, we don't really care. Or if you guys really want it that bad, here's the DLC for $20, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's like Microsoft in the long run really cares about one target audience, while Sony cares about everybody.
That's true. Yeah, they really do try to, incorporate something in there everywhere. Because I mean, even if you're looking at like the shooting game community, there's still shooters on the PS3. Call of Duty still comes out on there. Blah blah.
Yeah, and Killzone's on there as well. Though Killzone isn't as popular as Halo, nowhere near as popular, but still it's on there. But one positive thing about the Xbox One I will mention though, and that's the competitive side. Now this system can be used at majors and other large gaming competitions like MLG because there's no internet required. They can just install.
That was a really big deal.
Yeah, then because like games like Halo and Call of Duty were played on the Xbox at MLG competitions, now they can use the Xbox One for the same reason. So like that just saved a lot of the competitive scene, just a lot of stress. So And now Killer Instinct being an Xbox One exclusive, if the game does get popular, and we can also use it at majors now, so it won't be a bitch to try to play Killer Instinct. So
Yeah. At the same time, less people are now going to be able to play Killer Instinct. But
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, just because I don't know, they're letting less people play through like their cloud gaming and everything. I don't know. I was really excited for that just because I thought I was actually going to be able to play it at some time. Now I feel like I'm probably never going to be able to play Killer Instinct.
I mean, it looks alright. Whatever.
I mean, I'd like to play it. Like I'd like to, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm not saying it looks like a great game or anything.
How do you feel about like the Kinect being forced as a purchase with a system?
I'm way less concerned now that it doesn't require an internet connection.
No, but I'm just saying because the Kinect is like $100 like piece of like hardware, and like if you think about it, like the Xbox One being $499, if you think about it, wow, $100 of my money is going to a Kinect, which I'm probably not going to use.
Yeah, never use.
Exactly. How do you guys feel about that?
I don't like it because from their standpoint, it's just basically there for the developer to fuck with it if they want to use it. But like, honestly, I feel like it's a forced, contrived way of trying to get them to actually put something with the game, incorporating the Kinect. Fuck that, dude. Like, if people don't need it or don't want to see it in their vision of the game, then so be it. But, I mean, I guess in a sense, what they wanted to do was, since Kinect's bundled with all the systems, developers can now, like, make games specifically for that, like, now that the install base is bigger, I guess. Basically for every because now it's like it's a peripheral that's an add-on, so it's like it's harder to get people to go out and buy a Kinect so they can play those Kinect games. I guess that's the mentality behind it, but I don't care. Like, it's a gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, it's there to try to get into that, family gaming. The same thing that, like, the Wii and the Wii U has,
Yeah, but the Wii U does the family gaming thing better because, Nintendo makes games that are fun. And then the Kinect games you'll get like, oh, want to work out? Do a push-up.
Yeah. Football games and whatnot. Do you want to do football workouts?
Or Blackwater.
Blackwater.
So, yeah, stuff.
But what else? I mean, like, have they said anything else besides this, like, DRM, blah blah blah?
Just the region free, and I think that's it.
Yeah, actually, what are you guys' thoughts on the region free thing?
I don't know. I mean, it's really strange, especially considering we just finished talking about how Xbox One is going to be Western centric.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you were saying earlier, I guess there will be games, or hopefully there will be games that, people have access to. It's just, there's not going to be like those earlier Japanese releases, you know what I mean? For that people are going to be wanting to get on the Xbox One, because nobody in Japan are going to be releasing games for the Xbox One. So it's just like, I feel like there's not going to be any early releases, and there's going to be even smaller amounts, so I feel like it's a much smaller deal than it is on the PS4. Like I think it's going to help a lot more people on the PS4, but at the same time, it's just like it's probably a necessity. You know what I mean? They don't need any more negatives, any more cons for the console, so it's just like, why not make it?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, just like, why not? It's nice that it's there. Probably will never be used by a majority of their user base, but yeah, again, nice that it's there. I don't know. Overall, I mean, that's basically sums up my thoughts on the Xbox One so far. I feel like it's just while it's good that the DRM's not there anymore, it's just also they've lost everything that I thought was actually better than the PS4.
Like all the neat little like gimmicks,
family sharing,
sharing,
like that was really the only thing where I was just like, wow, that's actually pretty cool, because of a circle of 10 people, which is actually a lot. We could all buy different games. We probably have different gaming tastes, and I could try a lot of new stuff if I had an Xbox One, which I probably never would have gotten. But, if I did, that would be cool. And now that's completely gone, and now it's just a glorified 360. It has better graphics, and that's it. And I don't know, there's a lot added with the PS4. It's definitely a different console that's above and beyond what's going on with the PS3, and I feel like Xbox One's really just not doing that.
And I mean, if you think about it, this whole family sharing idea, that could have gone hand in hand with the Kinect. Because, you got two families, like, oh, I just bought Just Dance 12. Really? Oh, shit, I didn't get to buy it yet. Just share it with me real quick. All right, cool. Let's try it out with the Kinect. Now it's more like, I mean, you can just bring it over.
Yeah, it's
But
just
people
like,
are
well,
lazy.
that's cool, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's exactly the same. It's not anything different. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. I am definitely glad that they retracted their DRM.
Yeah.
I'm
So am I.
yeah, I'm super hyped about that. It's just like they also haven't added anything that I'm excited for. You know what I mean? They just removed what was new. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think the game sharing thing kind of becomes a moot point to some extent, just because like now that you can infinitely share, well, I mean, just do the same thing you do now. So
Yeah, exactly.
if
So
you
Yeah.
it's just yeah, it's just they
whatever.
went from me being like super mad and ragey to just being like bleh.
Yeah, but if you think about it though, it's more of a convenience sake because like I'm gonna use this as an example. Look at the Zune, like back the MP3 Zune or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
one of their other failures.
one of their other failures, exactly. Like when people did get it, you could share music from your MP3 player to anyone else who has a Zune by just giving it to them or whatever.
Yeah, it
But
was
like
only one play though.
it was a one play, but I'm just saying, like, you could share music, so if they see, oh wow, this is really nice, I can actually get into this band or group or artist or whatever, right? I'll go
Yeah.
out and get the album, or I'll, do something else to get it, pirate it, not like I condone piracy, but still, I'll pirate the album and get it or whatever, right? So like,
Yeah.
you could easily just go to your friend's house and just get the album and put it on your computer, but for the convenience sake of having it right in front of you without having to leave your home or like leave to go to somewhere else to get it, it's just like I said, it's a convenience thing. So like that was a
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
idea.
I
So
was I was always envious of that feature when it was out, and I don't see why they didn't employ something similar. Now that you mention it, if I think about it, it's just like they could have done something like that and kind of
Well,
circumvented the DRM. It's like let me
well,
play your game for a limited amount of time or
well, they're
something.
not saying that it's nixed yet. It's just not going to be a launch day
Well, I
feature now,
mean,
at least.
they didn't say definitively, but they did, to quote, but gone now is the ability to share a game line area, with 10 family members.
but I wouldn't
So,
be surprised if it is like a permanent thing because apparently they can't really tell a story, they can't get their shit straight, so whatever.
yeah, it's true. I mean, like, nothing is concrete, obviously, with Microsoft at this point, so everything is subject to change. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they will add something later in the future, at least with, like, digital releases.
Hmm.
But, we'll see. I doubt it.
Well,
All
I'll say this, man. Like, more than anything, I'll just go ahead and start off on the Wii U because at least I know what to expect out of it, and then just like sit and stare on what the other systems are kind of gonna offer in the long run. Because right now, at least I know that Nintendo's bringing fucking some theory.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like, they're bringing in the games. They've been honest with what they have come out with, and their console has been out for a year or so, and it's just been nothing shady's
And
happened.
their release dates are,
Yeah.
granted, their release dates are a bit too spaced out for my taste, but not to drag on about Nintendo, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You guys have any more comments left, or?
Aside
Yeah.
from that I'm happy the DRM is gone, and this will actually be more of a selling point to get more Xbox Ones off the shelf into people's homes. Yeah, that's cool, but I don't see why they had to get rid of temporarily or permanently or I don't know, whatever. Get rid of the game sharing feature. I just think that was just like they could have kept that. I honestly think they just could have done it.
Yeah, also I want to add, just like, now that all this is done and over with the DRM issues, still don't forget, I mean, like, Microsoft still does not have a good track record.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Even before this, like, the Xbox 360 was not a good console. You know what I mean? So it's just like, please, just because this DRM issues is gone, I don't want to see people just jumping on, the Xbox One wagon
late.
now. And
Too
just
late.
being like, yeah, everybody's going to do it, but I don't want to see it. It's like,
Yeah.
it really, please take at least some caution. And it's like, if you want an Xbox One, wait, don't buy it on day one, just because it's.
Man, I wouldn't recommend buying any of them systems on day one except the Wii U because it's at least been out for a fucking year.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not suggesting anything. But
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
especially like just any system, man. Like, I mean, Sony for a fact, like I can tell you, PS1 was not a very reliable system ultimately.
Yeah.
That's why I saw redesigns. PS2 fucking had a faulty hard drive. PS3 had like the like whatever, like the internal part of it melted, which caused the yellow light or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
360's fucking faulty because it overheats and whatnot. It's like, dude, you cannot go into this next gen expecting nothing happening.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, the PS3 was the one that had the faulty hard drive. I don't remember the PS2 having any like release issues or whatever.
Just
but still, I mean,
the
I think
laser. It had like laser problems or something, didn't it?
I don't know. I mean, like that's so long ago that I cannot pull.
But hey, over time it got ironed out. But they didn't need like 20 fucking revisions like the 360 did.
Well, I mean, they didn't release multiple broken revisions, which is like kind of more my main point. Is that obviously Microsoft doesn't really care about releasing a solid console. They just don't. In comparison to their last, few console releases. I mean, they had the Red Ring, then they broke it again with NXE, and then they released the Xbox Elite. That was was a broken console. And I mean, PS3, even though they did have like the hard drive issues, it still was nowhere near as widespread as the original Xbox was. And then they fixed it, and they didn't have any future problems.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just like, you can't tell me that Microsoft is a reliable, honest, I guess for all intents and purposes, a supportable corporation / company, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. They're more focused on software than hardware. That's the thing. Like, I know that's their thing, but like,
as far as games are concerned.
I know this doesn't speak for much, but I was just on Game FAQs fucking around, and the poll of the day was actually, how do you feel about Microsoft's complete reversal on their online check-in and use game policies? There was the option of, I'm thrilled, it's good to hear they're listening to gamers, and then it says 10.37%. I'm relieved. I couldn't believe they were moving forward with this, 12.18%. I'm good either way. I was fine with the old policies before they changed them. 4.07%. I'm amused. I'm amazed they tried such a dumb idea in the first place. 45.66%. And then the last one, surprisingly, is I'm suspicious. I still don't trust them and won't buy a one because of it. 27.72%.
Yeah, so that guy.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, that's just not really like a good standpoint, but I think that's a fair one because it's all gamers. In fact,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game FAQs community, but still, like, I know what you're getting at. Like, one thing I do have to say though, if I see an Xbox One and that shit has a disc drive, I'm gonna fucking scream.
Oh yeah, you mean the disc tray?
Yeah, if it has a disc tray, I'm literally gonna fucking have a hissy fit.
It's fucking stupid. I can't believe they're still using that thing.
Like, that's the reason why these games get circle burns. You're using a disc tray that has no support when you put the game inside, just like PC towers, and if you move it, it burns the game. You would think 8 years after making the system, they would put like a magnetic circle like they do with the PS2 to support the disc and hold it down on the PS2s and the PS3s, but apparently they don't even do that, especially with the new release of the Xbox 360 Super Slim. It doesn't even fucking do that either. It's still a disc tray.
Yeah, it's still exactly the same, which is so foolish to me. I'm just like, really? So it's going to have all the same burn issues still.
Yeah.
And it's at a $300 price point, which, like, I don't want to get, like, super into that because that's just, like, I don't know, I kind of lulled at that. And just why? The only good thing about that is that if at any point in time I want to buy an original Xbox Slim, I know that it's going to be a slightly smaller price point.
Yeah. It'll take a price drop.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, go ahead and buy that when it's cheaper.
So as long as the Xbox One does not have a disc tray, with all these changes, I'm alright with it. It's definitely piquing a little bit of my interest, but not much where I would actually consider about buying the system, but I am happy to see all these changes, so that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, well, I'm just so much more gray about the system than I was before, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing, like, bright red and being angry and fearful.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
So far.
But, I mean, I'm pretty much tapped out.
Me too. All right, so I guess that's it for the first minicast, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you for coming on, Lee.
Oh, no problem. It's fun every time.
All right, and thanks again, Tokyo.
Yeah, dude. All right.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.
Peace.